Hey, welcome again, marriage small groups. What's going on?
Hey,
Hopefully,
hey, hey,
hopefully,
hey.
y'all guys have been enjoying these past few sessions, and we've been talking about fighting fair, fighting
Each other.
each other, but
Fight.
basically talking about how to fight the good fight.
Yes, yes. So hopefully you guys are learning a lot about fighting the good fight as we're talking about the top 5 issues that most couples have. So today what we're going to be talking about is a topic that's very close and dear to our hearts.
Yes. Now, this particular fight, again, we're talking about. Last week we talked about sex. Hopefully, you got some good stuff out of that one. But today we're going to be talking about parenting. And this, y'all, this is the fight that Team Bullock has a recurring fight on
All the time.
all the time. But we'll get to that later. So let's get into some statistics and get into the introduction of this. Now, the interesting thing the book talked about is that there are many reasons why couples have children. So here's some statistics. It says here's a top three. 76% choose to have children
Just
because
because they're so joyful. They're so much fun.
the joy of children. We're about to get there, y'all. We're about to get there. 50% said that it was to appease their spouse's wishes. I thought that was pretty interesting.
I thought that was interesting too.
47% said that they had adequate financial resources. So I can't relate to what that really means.
It means you have like a whole bunch of money in your savings account because kids are expensive. So it's
yeah, they
like
are.
I'm good. I'm not tripping that I'm gonna have to buy, like a bed and all this other stuff and pay for college. I'm good. That's what that says.
I understand. I'm just like, because I got money, I can have kids, but I understand. All right. Or you was like us, necessarily, we did not plan to have kids now.
Yeah, like
But it happened.
I
Now.
literally got pregnant like 6 months after our wedding.
Yeah.
So
We wanted to wait, but that wasn't in the plans at
no.
all. And praise God.
Praise God. And as you can tell from our tone, we are right now dealing with teenagers. So,
Oh,
so for us, we love our babies and they are a blessing from the Lord, but kids are hard. And so what I find out a lot is that we just fight over a bunch of different stuff. He thinks I'm too soft. I think he's too hard, but we'll get to that too. We'll keep going. But as what we're saying, what are some of the reasons for our disagreement? So we just shared some of our reasons for us, but it says husbands and wives disagree about parenting in innumerable ways, meaning that you probably can't count it. Every couple, you guys are specific individual people. So you probably all have totally different reasons why you fight over parenting. You may accuse another one of being too strict, being too lenient, or not being involved enough with the children, or being too involved. Some couples argue about feeling undermined by the other parent when setting limits on the kids, and some feel that the other is competing for the child's love. So,
well, we don't go through the competing for the child's love. We're good on that one, but I think sometimes we also we parent through how we was parent, how we grew up, and what our experiences have.
I have huge triggers in parenting because it just takes me back to when I was a little kid. So I'm like, yeah. So for me, parenting is probably one of the hardest things that I do on a weekly. But let's finish talking about this part really quick. If both of you are deeply invested in how your kids were raised, you're going to fight about these things like times out, curfews. I love this one, the best way to make your daughter's first date sweat. But the good news is it's okay because that means that you both are dedicated to the same goal, which is really good news. How the key is, how do you work together to achieve that goal is where the friction comes in.
So here in the book, it says how to minimize parenting prize fights. And so the solution for nearly any parenting conflict is found in getting on the same page. And that's where we are, the same page. Can we just get on the same page? Well, 1 minute is like this, and then the other minute is like this. And but I thought it was okay. I thought the tone was okay.
Yeah, like he'll go tone city or he fusses a lot. I know he comes across as silly and fun, but he fusses a lot. So when he's fussing a lot, partly of it is I had a great father, but I had issues with my dad growing up, right? Part of the issues was I was lectured a lot, right? So when he goes into lecture mode, I'm over here tweaking out. It's crazy.
It's not about you. That's what I be trying to do. It's not about you. It's about this joker acting up, not turning their homework. And I gotta be really passionate.
And he has to remind me this is not about you, because as I'm being triggered, I'm like, I didn't totally like, because I'm like, okay, well, what would make a mistake? And then our kids have to be in counseling because we made a mistake. Or what if we do this and they take it a certain way? Or what if we do this and it feels like rejection? And so the list in my head goes on and on and on. And I don't know if any husbands or wives feel any way that I do, but for me, I'm constantly thinking of parenting. And I'm trying to get better, y'all, but I'm constantly thinking of parenting through my own experiences as a young person slash teenager, young adult. So,
And see, for me, I'm a teacher. So not
yeah,
only do I have my two kids that go to the same school that I teach, as a matter of fact, I'm the Bible teacher for both of them. And so I got to deal not only with them, but I got to also deal with
yeah,
78 other teenagers. Imagine
yeah,
having 78 teenagers. Pray for me, y'all.
yeah. Pray for him. Yeah,
So when we go through our moments, you know, it's tough to get on the same page because I'm seeing things so much different than she is. She saw through the spectrum of her dad and how it might be similar, how I might say certain things that bring up certain things for her. But when for me, I didn't have any parents parenting me. Both, I had a lot of dysfunction going on in my childhood, and so to me, I'm looking at it from the standpoint is I need you to wake up. I need you to get it now because pretty soon you're going to be out the house.
yeah,
And what's going on outside this house is not as loving. And so I need you to pay attention and get aware. And then the other part of it is I care for them so much that I can't replace my kids. I can't replace none of them. We got three kids. We got a 26-year-old, we got an 18-year-old, and we got a 15-year-old. And can't replace them. They're valuable to me. So I really want them to get it. So this is
yeah.
why we have conflict a lot of times. And she's
Yeah.
saying you're being too hard or
But I will say with him explaining that, because this is a recent conversation, we're not telling y'all about something that happened like 2 months ago. This is just a couple of
2
days
years
ago.
ago.
Yeah, this is just a couple of days ago. This happens all the time. And I would say we've been able to conquer most of our conflict, but this is that one topic that we deal with all the time. And I think the way he put it to me, the last time we had this conversation really helped because he was like, I didn't grow up really with parents. I kind of parent myself. So be thankful that your dad was in the house. Be thankful that you had this and you had that. And it helped me to kind of, and the whole fact of our kids are about to go out into the real world. And the real world, we all know that's a whole nother story. So I think for us, it is getting where we're having conversations and putting it, I guess you would say, because I'm trying not to get ahead of myself because we're going to talk about it, but having those conversations separately instead of in front of the kids.
now we say this, so y'all won't think we're totally just like whacked out. We don't really fuss in front of the kids. Now, there's only some times where Angela might say, but babe, and then that makes me mad when they was in the front of kids. But babe, like
I will say we don't have like a full go off on each other, fussing and fighting. I just try to intercede for my children, like, but babe, what about? So I'm learning to be.
This was last minute. They should be coming to me with
Yeah.
last minute stuff.
So I'm learning how to be better at it. But getting back to how to minimize parent prize fighting, they're basically saying how I was saying I kind of butt in or we're on different pages in front of the kids, which is truly how it usually is. It says your kids can play against you and play the two of you against each other and add fuel to the parenting fire. Conflict decreases and teamwork increases when you get on the same page. And I feel like if you guys notice a certain theme in all of these videos, it's conflict is about getting on the same page. So if you can get on the same page, conflict will decrease and the teamwork will increase. So the first order of business is to iron out differences behind closed doors, which we've done before. But I think for me, I have to hold on. It's almost like I need a cheat sheet in front of me to remember like what's going on. And the time for presenting your ideals and negotiating trade-offs is when the two of you are alone, not in front of the kids. Once you reach an agreement, then stick together, stay a team.
So we practice this a lot. We do this a lot. And sometimes it's very, very, very difficult. But at the end of the day, it really helps us, really see eye to eye. And then sometimes, again, it's what is it saying? Pick and choose your battles.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So sometimes we have to pick and choose our battles because, my daughter want to do this, son want to do this, and it's constant, just like, oh my gosh, I don't really want to think about it right now, but you have to take care of it. So what if we can't compromise is one of the questions that the book asks. What if we can't compromise?
I'm just giggling because we've had a few moments where we could not compromise. So the book suggests try taking turns, meaning you simply allow one spouse to temporarily be in charge of handling contentious matters. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Okay, matters in whatever way he or she sees fit. So literally, he would take. And for us, I don't think this would be a good thing. I think we have to get on the same page, but he would do his thing because ours are so different. He would do his thing, and then the next week I will do my thing. So it says your job is to observe without negative comments, convey a spirit of togetherness, and save any discussion for your next parenting meeting. Couples who try this for 2 weeks, where one person gets to say their say that week and the next, et cetera, you will see marked differences, meaning you're going to see the holes in your own plan and you're going to see the holes in their plan. And so what it is to do is to allow you to be able to probably get empathy as well and have some things of, oh, okay, I see what they're talking about, but you get to see the good and bad in both approaches. And then it suggests the following week, which would be the third week, mesh the best of both systems together.
Yeah, and I don't want to offend anybody about this, but and I hope I don't offend by what I'm about to say, is that sometimes teenagers can be just.
It's been a hard week, y'all. Keep it together, baby. Keep it together.
So I think we have a lot of times when we talk about trade-offs, a lot of times I'm the kind of the disciplinary. I discipline, and I don't whip the kids or anything like that, but they get the lecture, and she don't like the lecture. And so sometimes I'd be like, you want to handle it. You know what? I don't like it. You may not like it. So I say, you going to handle it, because I'm the no person. So when they come and think, hey, Dad, you know what I want to say. You're going to say no. And I say, yes.
But see, we have moments too, because I'm like, well, I feel like you say, I never say no, which is not true. I said no just a couple of minutes ago. So I did. so before this video, I said no like a couple of times. So it's like, well, then I take it again for me, like, okay, where you're coming against like how I carry myself, and like basically trying to say like I'm soft, right? Because he's like, you're always the good cop and I'm the bad cop, and you never say no, and the kids like you more and they want to spend more time with you, and da 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 da. And I'm like, that's not true.
I play with her. I say that she has this disease when it comes to kids. It's called weakness.
So even though I'm laughing, I don't like that, right? So we go back and forth, whether it's between the decision making for the kids, what should be done, how it should be said, and then how both of us process it. So if this is your situation, or maybe you just have a little bit of this being your situation, we're going to take these notes ourselves and try to use some of the things in here and work things out so that we can get on the same page consistently. So we want to encourage you to do the same.
Yeah, and this is not to don't let our attitude be something that deters you, because we have some great kids. We really do.
Yes, we do.
We just want them to push past some other things that we think, we got one that's already in the military. She's doing phenomenal and everything like that. And we got one that's getting ready to go to college.
And he thinks we don't know anything.
We're just trying to, and then we got one that's like, well, when did I get to start driving? It's like,
when I get to be grown, I'm ready. Yeah.
And they always want to do something on your Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. So another thing is if you can't compromise, if you wonder about what kinds of effects these frequent changes or procedures will have on your kids, a better question is, what effect will it have on them if nothing is done?
If you don't do anything, what
Mhm.
effect would it have? They get to see you guys basically be divided and fight and fuss all the time. That's not good. As we know for us too, that's not good. So it's better for us to do something than to do nothing.
And then the third one, it says here, institute daily check-ins. It's what the big business calls regular team meetings.
Whoop,
And
whoop for the team meetings.
I'm telling you, that's for across the line, for sex, for finances, for everything.
For all these big fives.
You should have some type of meeting, probably or correlating all these type of things. I know it might sound like I don't want to call it team meetings, but it's really good. And it says this procedure employs been employed for decades for to keep workers happy, productive, and in the loop. So one version of the spousal meeting is called high low. What is that talking about?
So pretty much the high low is saying, and this could be on any topic. So for example, with parenting, you would come home, you before your day or your night is over, you would say, hey, so how was your day today? What was your high and low? So my high might be, oh my gosh, I had this really great conversation with, I don't know, Chris, and this is what he said, and this was really good, and I felt like we really connected. What was your low when it came to parenting? Well. Well, so that would be an example, but you could use this for your whole day period. What was your high for your day and your low? Or you could use specific topics that you guys are currently trying to overcome in your marriage right now. It's quick, it's easy, but sharing this little bit of info keeps the two of you guys up to date and most importantly, on the same team.
And then one of the things that I want to end off on saying is if you can't compromise, this is a great time for y'all to pray. This is something where both of y'all can come together and tell, man, this is how I feel. This is how you feel. So let's go ahead and invite the Lord, because for some reason we just cannot see eye to eye right now. And then, take some time to, maybe sleep it off, or, have some sex. Or I don't know. I don't know what it will work for you, but what the thing is that parenting is it can be very difficult, but it's so
they don't
worth
come
it.
with a manual.
It's so worth it. And again, we have some great kids. So what we want you guys to do is talk about it. You may not have no kids, so this is the time that you get perspective. Or your kids might have grown up and they're 20, 34,
and the
something
thing
like
I would
that.
say too, for people who you don't have kids yet, you are planning to have kids, you may be pregnant with kids, this is a great time to prepare. Like, okay, so what's your viewpoint on parenting? What are you comfortable with in parenting? What about when it comes to correcting our kids? How do you want to do it? So go ahead and get that plan out now. Start discussing it now. So when things come up, you guys are already, you'll be steps ahead because you're already on the same page.
Amen. So again, it's been a pleasure, y'all. Hopefully you have a great discussion. We'll be talking with you soon. And with that being said, I don't got nothing else to say. You got anything?
I ain't got nothing else to say besides enjoy your small group.
We love y'all. Peace.
All right. Bye-bye.